Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Melissa Estavillo. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and owner of Biltmore Psychology and Counseling. Today I wanted to do this video to speak to some of the parents out there that are working at home due to social isolation and are feeling a bit overwhelmed with some of their job responsibilities and the fact that they have kids at home. And so, big picture, we just wanted to be able to talk about how do we stay sane through this time with our children. And so, for a lot of parents that I talk to, they have incredibly high standards for how they want to be as a parent. They want to be the fun parent that does all of the activities, that feeds their kids healthy food and constantly gives them a diversity of experiences that are educational and exciting and different. And this has really rocked a lot of these parents' world. I mean, I have to admit that I might be one of those included in that we have an idea of how we want our children's day to be structured and the things that they learn and do. And this has been difficult to think about how, the expectation to be able to work and get things done and not have your children watch copious amounts of TV is not the easiest thing. So again, big picture, we just want to talk with you about how to stay sane. So the very first tip that is hard for me to say, but the very first tip is that it's kind of important in this time to lower our expectations. These aren't long-term. These aren't something that we should be okay with forever. But I think what really can be hard is when our circumstance has changed so drastically and we are reeling from that, and we still maintain the same kind of high standard that we're typically able to do that's not actually perfectionistic during very positive, opportune times, but they really are now in the midst of a crisis and when things are overwhelming. And so I think it's important for parents to see that, in general, it's awesome when my 4-year-old only watches 30 minutes of TV when he's 4. But if I'm in a situation where it calls for a little bit more of that, and it's something that allows for me to do what I need to do for work or to get my family fed, this is a unique time. And so lowering our expectations and then ultimately remembering, while we don't know how long this is going to last, and this might potentially last longer than we would like, that this is not forever. Because sometimes I think these feel so overwhelming and like such a big shift that we're planning as if this will be like this long term. And it's important to know that our kids will get back to structure and routine. They will get back to potentially healthier eating and have these different options, that they will have opportunities for play dates and socialization. And so that these things are temporary. I think another thing too is, to be able to identify that this demands a lot of us, and it's okay to need a break. It's okay to be at a place where we're overwhelmed. Practically, that might not be available to you, and I know how frustrating that is, but it's okay to acknowledge that this might have stretched us beyond the limit that we generally would like. That if we did this all the time, this wouldn't be practicing good mental health, that this would not be a sustainable practice. So again, just acknowledging the fact that this feels really impossible and really difficult, I think is really important to be able to get through this time too. I think the very last thing is, if we do feel like we lose our cool or we respond in a way that we feel like is curt or rude to our child, obviously that's not okay. That's not something that we want to do. But one of the healthiest things for children to learn and see is that when we make a mistake, we can own it, we can apologize for it, we can come to them and identify the part that was wrong and say that we're sorry. And, for a lot of parents that I talk to, that feels really hard for them to think, well, I don't ever want to make a mistake. I want to be perfect for my kids. And that actually can induce a little bit of shame in kids if they feel like, gosh, I know I'm flawed and my parent is perfect and they never make mistakes, so now I feel bad when I do. And so, obviously there's lines that we can't cross, but when we do make a mistake, it's okay for us to just say, I'm human. I'm not a terrible parent for it, and I'm going to go to my kid and be able to say that I'm sorry and teach them that humility and ability to self-reflect and then to be able to own the problem and apologize. I promise you, because I do a lot of couples counseling, that will make a world of difference someday with their partner. That's important for later relationship development. So parents, stay sane out there. I'm there with you. These are not easy times. At the same time, it is kind of wonderful to be able to have, little bits of extra time with them, but it's okay that it's not the same kind of quality as when we get to go to museums and play dates and do some of that. So I feel, I'm there with you. So stay healthy, stay safe. And until I see you again next, I want you to take care. Before I stop though, questions in the comments below. We love to answer those. And if you want future content like this, you can always subscribe. Take care.